Listen, friend, I don't think you should be setting goals. Now, Demaya, why would you go and tell them that? I mean, somebody had to say it. And I know you're probably looking at me 10 karat crazy right now, but somebody had to say it. And I just really want to challenge you to think about, why do I even set goals? Come on, let's talk about it on the couch, because these chairs, way too uncomfortable. I honestly used to hate setting goals. Like, I always felt like my goals wouldn't play out the way that I saw them in my head. And it would just honestly leave me overwhelmed, disappointed, and frustrated, because here I am setting all of these goals and none of these goals are playing out the way that I expected them to. So I'm sitting here with frustrated expectations. And I don't know if I'm the only one. Comment below and let me know if you have also struggled with feeling like frustrated, irritated, overwhelmed just from, again, setting all of these goals and not seeing them accomplished. Now, for all my doers, dreamers, and high achieving friends, I'm talking to you because we really be out here driven by goals. Like, you give us a goal and we're going to achieve it. Okay. We're going to put our plan together and we're going to add it to our calendar and we're going to get her done. But I also want to be clear, when it comes to goal setting, I feel like the moment that you start feeling overwhelmed, I feel like that's when something should tell you that the goals that you are setting is not feasible for the season that you are currently in. And I think this is where it really began to hit me, because why am I overwhelmed by a goal that I set? You can put, oh, I want my business to make 6 figures in 2 months. But when your business just launched last week, it's not feasible unless God is about to perform a miracle, okay, and blow a fresh wind, which, don't get me wrong, nothing is impossible for God. But the reality is, we in and of ourselves are limited, right? And so it's not always feasible or realistic. So I'm not about to be overwhelmed, stressed out, and burnt out trying to overwork myself when in our reality, it's not a proper goal for this current season. Now, I'm not saying that we should just completely toss goal setting off to the side, like altogether, because it's good to have targets. It's good to have intentions for your life. But I do think we should set goals based upon the season we are in. Let's call it seasonal goal setting. Okay? I think seasons play a big part when it comes down to setting goals. And I do think they should be considered before we even set a goal. And here's why. When you think about it, if it's wintertime, hear me out. If it's wintertime, would you set a goal to cut 45 backyards in the winter? Absolutely not. You're not going to go out cutting 45 yards per month in the winter, because if you live on the East Coast, it's 8 degrees outside. It's snow on the ground. It's ice on the ground. Okay. The weather outside is younger than we are. You following? So it's like, it's not feasible. It's not realistic, but this is what we be trying to do for our lives. Like, come on, friend. We can no longer just be out here setting goals just for fun. What is a goal that you can set that is realistic and feasible for the current season that you are in? God is out here trying to set the seasons for our life. And he's speaking, because he's always speaking. It be us. We don't be always listening. But if you're listening to him and you're walking with him, he will let you know, psst, the temperature in the room, it's hot outside today. You might want to, not put too many layers on. Or, it's cold outside today. You might want to layer up. You know what I'm saying? Like, God is really out here trying to tell us the season that we are specifically in, the areas that he wants us to focus on. But our mind is on someone else's grass, someone else's lane, and someone else's life. And he's like, come back over here. You thought, oh, the dream, the vision, the goal that God showed me, oh, that was going to come to pass 2024. You know, we're making all of these declarations for 2024. And it's like, God sitting back like, who said that? Who said I was doing that this year? You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to work on this area, or I want to work on that area. And we over here like, no, because I got 100 goals. Friend, I really be needing water breaks frequently because I just talk too much. But anyways, this week on the Words of Wisdom newsletter, I talked about, could it be the right goal, but the wrong season? If you missed it, you missed a whole word, a whole dose of wisdom. The link is in the description if you want to get all of the gems. But sometimes it could be the right goal, but not the proper time to execute the goal. Or it could be a wrong goal altogether, right? So in the newsletter, which I'm going to bring it back, do a little recap. I broke down the difference between right goals and wrong goals. Okay. So right goals are targets and intentions that are set based upon your life, meaning they are in alignment with who you are and what God has planned for your life. So this means you aren't reaching for anything that God doesn't want for you, right? You aren't forcing anything to work for you that's not meant for you. This is what a right goal is, right? But here's what a wrong goal is. A wrong goal is the complete opposite. They are targets and intentions that are set based upon someone else's life, right? Someone else's grass. It's based upon, their plan, right? What they show you on social media. It's like if a TikTok influencer create a video and they like, oh, like I'm about to go to the gym 5 times a week at 4 a.m. And then here you are trying to apply this same thing to your life without even considering or assessing, okay, your physical health needs. And if it's even the season where you can realistically apply that to your life. Because I really don't think sometimes we think about, like, when it comes to committing to a goal or committing to a habit, the things that have to change in order for those things to be successful. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't just say, oh, I'm gonna go to the gym and I'm gonna lose this weight. Honey, when you start implementing all these goals and stuff, there's an identity shift that has to happen. There's a mindset shift that has to happen. There's like a routine shift. Okay. Like there's a whole lot of a schedule shift. Right? There's a whole lot of things that has to happen in order for you to actually see these things accomplished in your life on a day-to-day and week-to-week monthly basis. When it comes to setting goals for your season, it looks like creating targets and intentions that are in alignment with the will of God for where you are right now. And I just really want us all to sit back and think about, am I doing exactly what God wants me to do right now? Am I where God wants me to be at right now? Overall, I genuinely don't think that we should set goals just because, right? Like, I don't think we should set goals because of who we follow on social media or just to check off a checkbox. Because I know, we get a little dopamine from, accomplishing different things. But I think that we should be intentional about the goals that we set by making sure that it's a right goal for this season of our lives. Like, our lives are kind of mapped out in seasons, right? Like, there may be a time and a season for you to focus on your family, a time and a season for you to focus on yourself, whether that be your mental health, your emotional health, your physical health. There are so many areas of our lives. And I feel like for those of us who are navigating our 20 somethings, right? Or even if, you maybe are just now hitting adulthood, maybe you are 18, you're going to find out there's a lot of different areas that we are called to steward over in life. And honestly, those responsibilities just keep on stacking, baby. They just keep on stacking. Like, when you really sit back and think about, like, we have our emotional, our mental, our physical, and those are just the areas of ourselves. But then when you add kids in the mix, then when you get married, then when you got a job, you know what I'm saying? And then, like, maybe you are in ministry, maybe, you're starting your own business. Like, you have all of these different areas, community, friendships, like, your social life, all the different areas and different things that you are responsible for. So one thing we don't have time for is to be stressed out. One thing we don't have time for is to be burnt out. You know what I'm saying? Like, we don't have time to be focusing on every single thing all at once. Okay? And we really have to get untangled up with, like, what society is saying. You know what I mean? Social media will literally have you feeling like everything else you need to neglect so you can build, and hustle and grind to get this business to 6 figures. All the while, your mental health lacking, your physical health lacking, your family is lacking. You know what I mean? Everybody's life is not the same. You know what I'm saying? And so I think that's where, like, I'm getting to just in my life, particularly in, like, slowing down, is realizing, hey, Demaya, your life is not the same. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, what God promised, what God showed you, that dream, that vision, it's going to come to pass in its season. Okay. And like I've been saying, do your part. And sometimes your part looks like slowing down. Okay.